He promised you honesty. He promised unity. But what if I told you Keir Starmer's path to Downing Street was paved with dark money, deception, and betrayal? This isn't just political strategy. This is a manipulation on a national scale. Let's go back to 2020. Labour was in chaos after a devastating election defeat. Then along comes Starmer, calm, composed, and pledging to unite the party. He offered 10 promises. He literally put them on his campaign leaflet. Nationalise mail, rail and energy, support trade unions, scrap tuition fees, defend migrants' rights. These weren't vague aspirations. They were written commitments, and the membership believed him. He was the grown-up who would keep Corbyn's principles but bring in electability. But as soon as he was elected, those promises were dropped like dead weight. Within a year, the pledges were being reworded. Within 2, completely abandoned. And by 2024, he'd rebranded Labour as a party of fiscal responsibility, tougher migration rules, and no wealth tax. The same man who said we'll abolish universal credit now says it must be reformed within fiscal rules. So the first thing you need to know about Starmer's rise is this: the man you see now is not the man members voted for. But how did he win in the first place? That's where Labour Together enters the scene. Between 2017 and 2020, this so-called think tank funneled over 730 grand in unregulated donations into strategy, polling and staffing for Starmer's campaign. These weren't £10 notes from party members. These were massive donations from businesses, linked individuals and private donors. The group claimed to be neutral. Well, it wasn't. The Electoral Commission found over 20 breaches of electoral law by Labour Together, one of the worst records for any modern campaign group. This was not a paperwork error. It was a deliberate, coordinated machine designed to put Starmer in power while avoiding scrutiny. And the man running it, Morgan McSweeney, now Labour's campaign chief, McSweeney's background is firmly on the party's right. He managed Liz Kendall's 2015 leadership campaign, which finished dead last. This time, he knew better. Rather than front up with a Blairite, they used Starmer as a soft left decoy, a lawyer, a human rights man, trustworthy, while behind the scenes, the donors and strategists were preparing for a purge of the left. Now, here's the kicker. During the leadership race, Starmer refused to reveal who actually funded him. It was only after votes were counted that names began to surface. Among them, hedge funders, property tycoons, private healthcare investors. That's right. And The Guardian reported in March 2020 that Starmer had received large sums from unnamed donors via limited companies, shielding their identities until post-election filings were mandatory. But by then, the damage was done. The vote was over. This tactic, delaying transparency until after it's too late, is classic establishment playbook. If this were a Reform UK campaign, it would have been front page news, but Starmer was the golden boy. The press said nothing. But this wasn't just a case of broken promises, it was betrayal by design. Starmer didn't shift positions because the world changed. He shifted because it was always the plan. Oliver Eagleton's book, The Starmer Project, exposes how Keir systematically adopted Corbyn's tone during the leadership bid, only to abandon every principle the moment he won. He posed with trade unions. He talked about public ownership. Now he bans left-wing candidates, threatens MPs over fuel poverty votes, and keeps the 2-child benefit cap in place. And 7 MPs who spoke against it were removed immediately from committee positions. 52 others were threatened for abstaining. This is not democracy, this is enforcement. And yet we're supposed to believe these are the grown-ups in the room. And for years, the mainstream media went easy on him, while Jeremy Corbyn was attacked daily, painted as unelectable, dangerous and anti-British. Starmer got the opposite. He was serious, electable. Even when the Sunday Times blew the lid off Labour's Together undeclared donations, most newsrooms didn't follow it up and most people didn't pay attention. Why? Because Starmer represents a return to business as usual. He reassures investors, he backs NATO, he dropped the idea of wealth tax, and he prefers Davos over Westminster. He's everything the establishment wanted Corbyn to never be, and the press, they rewarded him for it with silence. You see, under Jeremy Corbyn, Labour had over 550,000 members, a true grassroots movement. Today, fewer than 370,000. That's nearly 200,000 gone. Why? Because people saw through it. They saw left-wing candidates blocked, conference votes ignored. Even during the Gaza ceasefire debate in 2023, members were gagged from putting motions forward. This is not rebuilding the party, it's silencing it. And still, many voters just shrug and say, at least he's not the Tories. No, you're right. He's something way, way worse. So to everyone who voted Labour in 2024, was this what you wanted? A party funded in secret, built on broken promises, led by a man who poses as honest while threatening his own MPs for having a conscience? Did you really vote for integrity, or did you vote for the illusion of change? The same Labour Party that helped privatise the NHS under Blair, that introduced tuition fees, that oversaw the Iraq War, that opened the doors to immigration, has now rebranded itself and fooled another generation. History repeats, but only because people forget or ignore or turned a blind eye. 6 months before that election, I sat here warning you, not with conspiracy, with facts, investigations, books, leaked documents, and yet here we are again. And it's playing out in real time. Next time, don't vote out of fear. Don't vote for the red tie just because the blue one failed. Research the names, read the investigations, look at who funds these people. Because if we keep falling for the same tricks, we'll keep getting the same liars. And Keir Starmer, slick, silent and surgically dishonest, is just the latest one in a string of establishment parties that do nothing but desperately try to cling on to their power. Now look, is Reform UK the answer? I don't know. No one can tell me. No one can prove it. They've never been in power. What we have seen is 100 years of Labour and Tory rule, manipulated by the same organisations, the same institutions, the same donations, the same oligarchs, the same NGOs that fund these people into these positions. Is Farage any different? Is Tice any different? Is Anderson any different? I can't give you the answers to that. What I do know is what I've seen. What I do know is what's been ruling this country for 100 years. And what I do know is something needs to change. Is that the Liberal Democrats? Absolutely not. They're part of the same thing. Is it the Greens? No. They would destroy the economy with their net zero craziness. Is it the Workers' Party? Is it whatever Corbyn comes up with? Is it whatever Ben Habib has come up with as a political alternative to Reform UK? I don't know. I can't give you the answers to that. One thing I can give you answers to is 100 years of history, 100 years of data, facts, figures and statistics about the people who lead these political parties who you keep putting into power. And until we stop doing that and get a change, a complete change in the parties running this country, a complete change in the system from first past the post to proportional representation, nothing is going to change. And people can sit there saying, what if Reform are the same? What if they are? Then we will deal with that when we get to it. We don't know. And if we keep going down the same route, nothing is going to be different, is it?